Hello, all my wonderful modern art students. I hope that you're all safe and well. We had some very wild winter storms here in Washington State and all across the country. And I hope that everybody's doing all right. If anything happened, you had power outages, all sorts of things, please email me so that I can try to help you problem solve and stay on track. This week I'm sending out just a virtual notes and video to help share the content and my expectations. If you need extra help, please send me an email and we can schedule a virtual meeting. So I wanted to start this week with CTC Link, and it's going so much better than I anticipated. I'm already logged in, and I can now log in through Canvas. And starting tomorrow, starting on the 16th, you will be able to log in. Please go ahead and navigate here. I will share a link to this in the announcements. And basically, once you log in, what's really great about this, and I know it's an extra step and watching the instructions may not be fun, but once you log into this, it connects everything in one place, and it's a lot easier to navigate your financial aid, your student records, everything all in one place. And it's even easier to navigate on your phone. So it's a much better system that connects everything. So there's help through the knowledge base here. And most important, there's a link here for our start. It's like our help desk where you can get help. You can email them if it's, the middle of the night, and they'll get right back to you, or they're there, chat. There's also a phone number there where you can call. And coming on the 16th, you'll be able to log in. Okay, so that's coming up tomorrow. And the class, if anything happens, just email me and I'll, be ready to help you. I'm also, ready to give everyone just some extra grace this week just to make it fair across the board as we look at weather, CTC Link, the pandemic, all of these things that are happening. So just to make that fair. And thank you, everybody. Looks like was able to keep on track. If you missed anything, please turn in any late assignments and then contact me. I'm giving everyone some extra grace there, and you will get some points. You will get deductions for being late, but you will get some points for submitting late assignments. So I would really rather have everybody turn in anything that's missing and give you some partial credit there. Okay, so I hope that helps. Now, last week we talked about art and propaganda, and wow, I really love everybody's discussion. Some people did some art. A lot of people talked about some good art as propaganda, and it was a really interesting discussion. So moving into this week, we're going to explore how mass media impacted the arts. There were many inventions that really sparked the information age, and not just the one today. The printing press and the ability to mass produce books sparked the age of the Enlightenment. And the printing press had a big part to do with that. So there's a lot of, this piece here that I selected, the work of art, is by Katsushika Hokusai, who was a Japanese printmaker and artist, and he created a whole series of incredible prints that traveled all the way from Japan to Paris. He influenced artists like Claude Monet, and this was in the 1890s. So a really interesting use of printmaking to disseminate his art to a new middle class in Japan and also a broader, even international audience. So there's some tips for success here. There's reading and viewing materials and an exit ticket where you just kind of list some things that you learned. A check for understanding. And I always suggest to start here with the terms and concepts to know and write down some notes of these terms and concepts. Leave some space. If you're doing digital notes, you can use Google Docs to create digital notes. Okay, type these in. That action of note-taking is also a great study strategy. I also pull all of the check for understanding questions and discussion topics from this list. So if you study this list and take notes on this list, you will be prepared for those assignments. All right. So we're talking about propaganda, persuasion, Aristotle and persuasion, degenerate art, Kathy Kollwitz, Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec, lithography, Alphonse Mucha, ukiyo-e, Katsushika Hokusai, kabuki, Edward Muybridge, Josiah Wedgwood, John James Audubon, Honoré Daumier. Oh, sorry, John James Audubon's on there twice. But we'll only talk about him once. And Ansel Adams. Please excuse that typo. Okay. And so start there with your notes, and then here are the reading and viewing materials. Okay, and once you complete going through this material, it should take you, honestly, maybe 2 to 3 hours to go through this material. About the same length of time as if you had a textbook and we were going through the textbook. Okay, so that list is very much like the textbook when you kind of have those terms, or sometimes the vocabulary is bold or highlighted within the textbook. And great, we have some folks who have already completed this step. So you submit the 5 things, the 5 facts that you've learned as your discussion, and then you move on to the check for understanding. Now you may also see some topics there in future discussions. And speaking of the future, I want everyone to please take a look ahead. We have a group project coming up. And my gosh, it's hard to believe. The quarter is, we're past the midway point. We're past halftime in the game. And coming up, we have a group project. Okay? And I grade group projects very differently. There are different steps that everyone completes, and it's also a process that helps you prepare, helps you make sure everyone knows how to use Google Docs and Google Slides, the tools that you can use to collaborate, our digital library, our library online, and how to contact virtual librarians and chat with them for extra help, how to find magazines, how to find books, how to find databases. So there's different steps that you submit that create an individual grade. So it also really mimics, the objective is to help prepare work skills. So that's a good application for art into your everyday career. So I want you to look ahead at the group discussion, okay, for Module 10, Week 10, right before the finals, okay? The group discussion. And this is the first step, and you get some points here for this step. It's worth 40 points, and it's due February 21st. So that gives you some time. Groups are already created. So the first step is just to say hello. So when you log in, you will see just your group, and it's 3 to 4 people, and just get to know each other. I will also be logging in to just say hello, and sometimes I also give you some suggestions. I might give you some pointers, some resources, and I'll also give you feedback. So if there's something that you forgot, I might also send a reminder and say, great job, everybody. Don't forget to also create a Google slide. So as part of saying hello, here's the steps here. First, you'll just introduce yourself, say hello, maybe share something about yourself, maybe your major, maybe your favorite class or your favorite show or something, the hobby. Maybe just, share something about yourself, favorite song, something, and, just establish some good communication. And then also decide and create one shared document. So it can be a website, it can be a PowerPoint, it can be a blog, and it can even be a Google Doc. So decide that and just create a document so that you all have one document where you can start to share content. Okay, and it's a great way to work asynchronous. That means at different times. So someone could be on the East Coast and enter a bunch of things at 9 a.m. and someone could be on the Pacific Coast, and at 12 p.m. they could enter a couple of things, because we all have very different and very complex lives, and sometimes the best time to do homework when you're working online can be very different. It might be the weekend. It might be very early in the morning, like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. in the morning. I do that sometimes before my son wakes up, before the house wakes up in the very early morning. It's very quiet. It's a great time to work. So everybody works at different times. So you may not necessarily even have to kind of set up regular meetings and meet at the same time. You might work asynchronously and send each other content and just communicate in a different way. Okay, but you do want to make sure you have a Google Doc, and you could also talk about that. What's the best way for everybody to communicate, and what are the best times for people, and then also start to decide on your specific topic for the project. And there is content. We have kind of a very hefty critical thinking topic here for our group project. And it's also why we're working together, because it's kind of a tough topic. It really is. But it really connects to the last objective for our class. So if we go to the syllabus and look at our course level objectives, the last two course objectives here. The first is to discuss, critique, and evaluate Western art dating from 18th century to 1970 in terms of its relationship to society, aesthetic quality, and technical excellence, using language appropriate to the domain and course themes. And lastly, to explain how the process and challenges of institutionalizing a discussion of art is a process of cultural dominance. So it's talking about cultural dominance, how that connects and relates to institutions of art, and how often when we discuss and critique works of art, the way we discuss and critique is an act of cultural dominance in and of itself. So it's a complex topic, one that it's really good to work together, and we'll start in steps and we'll move through steps. So just one little extra step this week to introduce yourself and start to discuss there. It works really great. I've done these before online, and they're actually a lot of fun. It gives us a chance to work together. So I hope that you enjoy the content this week on printmaking and mass media and art. And just email me if you have any questions. So everybody stay safe, and I'll see all of you in the discussions. Bye.